What's up, guys? It's Chris. So I am going to today show you guys. So I know I've showed you my Trident Moderator before because they're one of my favorite companies as far as moderators and what they do. And I also want to show you something on my high precision 22 FX Impact. I received an item that I was very excited about today. Well, I actually received it while I was on vacation. I just got back and got it. So I'm going to show that to you. And then I'm going to show you what I did to my Trident Moderator because I messed up the threads by trying to use a bushing that went to a 1/2 inch UNF from the other threads. It wasn't straight. It screwed up the plastic on the inside. So I made my own internals. Now that I have a lathe and all the milling table and all that kind of stuff, I was able to machine it pretty well. It's quieter than any other moderator I have, even the Impulse. So just bear with me 1 second. I'll grab the gun. All right, here it is. I'm gonna zoom you guys out and let you see what I'm talking about here. So at the most recent competition, I saw someone that you guys may know from online. His name's Nickolai, and he makes some unbelievable bipods. He custom makes them or designed them and puts them together or whatever the case is. But let me just give you a close-up. So this is, let's see. This is the bipod. So if you see, this handle here moves the gun up, down, left, right, which is phenomenal. There's solid feet right here, and this is an adjustment that you loosen this, and this can move side to side. And so it's got that type of movement. Then it also has this right here on this side, so you can tighten this, that's a long screw, or loosen it for a wider or narrower stance, which I left it really wide, so it's got a really wide, stable stance. And then between the monopod in the back and this in the front, you have an unbelievable amount of control without ever moving the gun. So I'm going to put some rubber on the feet here, and that's going to stay planted. And then now I'm going to show you what I did to my Trident Moderator. I'm actually going to fire with that for you and let you guys see how it works while it's on the gun, while I'm shooting the gun. But, all right, there we go. So I need to tighten this. Okay, so here's the old Trident Moderator tube, the Trident Moderator tube, not old. I actually have to just tack weld one more baffle I decided to put in. So while it's out, because the threads have also stripped from the top screwing down, this muzzle brake that goes on the top to here have stripped, or to this side rather, have stripped, and I'm going to use some metal weld type 2-part epoxy, and I'm going to put this, which is what I made, back in there. So if you see, I milled out, long holes. They're not holes. They're holes, but they're not just like a circular hole. It's milled, a good ways, and they're in between each baffle. And this does more good. And this last top washer, I'll show you. So this is the muzzle brake, right? And this last washer is smaller than the rest because it fits perfectly in there. If I can get an angle where you guys can see. So yes, see, it fits perfectly in there. There's no play. So it keeps it perfectly centered when it's in there. So you can see, well, let me get out of the way, and you can see the light right through it. Hold on. You see? You can see the light right through it. It's perfectly straight. That holds it perfectly straight. So now I'm going to go into the shop. I'm going to do a couple of tack welds. MIG welding with the argon CO2 mixture. I'm going to get a couple of quick spot welds on that last baffle I decided to put in, and then I need to ground it down a little bit because it's a little tight in there. Also, I'm making all my multiple pounds and pounds of lead in my smelting pot into, and then I'm going to put them in that ingot, and I'm going to make ingots, and I have all these things. Those are like from the crucibles. Those are the crucible size, you know, big hunks of lead. So I have a lot of weight in lead. Oh, I need to weld first. I'm going to tack weld this, and then I'm going to go over to my grinder and grind it down this last washer like I did with the rest to make it fit perfectly inside. What's up with my 220? Well, it would help if I plugged it in the back. I had to move this welder the other day to use it over by where my bullet trap is. I was welding something over there. I forgot what it was. Where the hell is the end of it? Alright, it's this wire. There it is. Okay. Alright. Got my welding helmet. I'm just going to do a quick MIG weld, little spot weld with the MIG welder. Turn the gas on. Alright, I'll turn you guys over here so you can see. It's just a real quick thing. I'm not gonna go crazy moving everything, but that's the welder. And I'm just gonna put the ground right on this, on the stuff that's already welded. Throw a couple spots on it, and then grind it down and put this back in. And then I'm not gonna be able to open that back up, so I wanted to show you guys while it was open. All right. So real quick, wham bam, thank you ma'am. That's all done. Shut that off. Grab that. Get one of my welding gloves because that's going to be nice and hot. And I'll bring you with me over to my bench grinder. And then I'll show you how I pour the lead into the ingot. Bench grinder, it's right over there. You should be able to see it. Okay. Let me just grab my micrometer, see if this is correct. It's not even hot anymore. And then I'll show you real quick. This was the rest of the inside of the trident, and this obviously got smashed and was unusable. So I made what I know, which is a baffling system, and this works way better than that ever did, and honestly way better than any other moderator I have. Really, I mean, like on a decibel meter, it's like it barely, sometimes it's like 62, sometimes 59 decibels. none of them are even close to that low. So I think the fact that I used the beginning part of this and then heated it so that this fits perfectly inside dead center, and it's dead center up here, I think the fact of those two things, and then I have screening and wire mesh around the bottom of the original Trident interior, and between all that, I mean, this works phenomenal, really, truly phenomenal. So let me make sure these are the correct size. Get this scrap metal out of here. Zero this out. Yep, it's right there with it. It's very close, within a few tenths of a millimeter. So I'll show you briefly the smelting pot. I'm going to actually have to put my heavier these are my TIG welding gloves / MIG welding gloves, but I'm going to be using my heavy welding gloves for this. So I'll bring this with me to put this back together when we get back over there, and then I'll also show you how the gun works with that bipod. So we'll make it a multi-purpose video. So you'll be happy to know, with this kind of stuff going on down here, I just recently updated my entire fire alarm system in this whole building. It's 10,000 square feet. It's a lot, you know, there's several businesses upstairs. And I did that for the businesses, but also for me down here. I actually met this guy at a poker game who's a contractor that does an alarm contractor. And meeting him was great because he needed a multifamily he just bought renovated. I'm doing that for him, and he's bartering with me for part of it for doing the need that stone for doing the alarm system here. So I'm getting alarms down here that are not going to even go by. They're not even going to go by smoke or anything like that. They're going to go by dramatic temperature changes. So when the temperature changes a certain amount of degrees in a certain period of time, that's going to trigger the alarm. So if there were an actual fire, it would trigger the alarm. But my normal stuff that I do like this will not trigger the alarm, which is pretty amazing to me. That's exactly what I needed. There we go, nice lead ingot. All right. Now I'm gonna first I'm gonna get this tongs off it because this thing tends to stick. And then I'm gonna get some more lead, melt that, and do a few more. So that when I need these to make bullets, I'll have the ingot already ready. Honestly, it's probably hot enough in there just to melt it right now, but I want it to melt quickly so I can do all of these because I have some other stuff I need to do today. This honestly shouldn't take too long to dry and be able to knock it right out. No, it's still liquid, but another few minutes, it should be good. That's the way you want it to burn. When it's burning the way it just was, that's not correct. You need it to burn like this. you'll hear it like my fan is probably too loud for it, but it's like a instead of like that louder sound that it was making. All right, so I'll go put the moderator back together, show you guys that in the bipod, and then I'll come back and finish my ingots because you guys already saw me make one. It's not going to be any different the next time. And I'm going to do this other big piece of lead right there. Well, you can't see it, but hold on. Right there, that other big piece. They're all like crucible shaped instead of the ingots, so those are a little big to get into a 20-pound melting pot. So I'm going to make that work by making them fit into an ingot instead of a big ass crucible size and shape. So now I'm just going to put this in with the original plastic piece that I left, tap it down, screw the bottom on because that threads in perfect. That's the part that Donnie FL's machinist made me. And then the top part, I'm going to use that two-part epoxy. All right, here's the tube. And the tube has the bottom piece right inside of it. Okay, so back into my gun room. Alright, that leg wants to give out. Any other ones want to mess with me? Oh, I lost a foot on that one, that's great. Okay, anyways. So you can see in here, that's got the original bottom part. That's, if you can tell, if you know what the moderator looked like, the plastic part, that's the bottom plastic part. And then I just put this, it's already dead centered, and the washer's also dead center it. I just have to tap it down a little bit. And now that will be tight to the bottom piece, and this will be fitted right into that little nipple right there when I tighten that in, which I'm going to tighten the bottom in first because those threads are still working perfectly. It's just the top ones that are not. And then I think I'm going to cut a couple of pieces of rubber for those feet on that bipod. Now, make sure that's down all the way. Okay, now I'm going to mix a little bit of this two-part epoxy that I put somewhere, probably over here. Yes, I'm going to mix a little bit of this, and I'm going to put it on the threads. This way, when I put that in there, it's going to stay in there. And then I also recently ordered a laser engraver. So once I'm done with this, I will laser engrave it. And I'm probably going to laser engrave all my guns that are made of aluminum, and even my bottles. I'm going to laser engrave them all. Something custom, maybe my company name, maybe my initials, I don't know yet. All right, where's my mixer for this stuff? There we go. Okay. So yeah, I just got back from vacation from Aruba and had a fantastic time with my fiance. That was way overdue because I'm always so busy doing this kind of stuff that unfortunately I don't get to spend the kind of time with her that I should, but I did for the past week, and she was very happy, and so was I. So I'm rejuvenated and definitely in a happy mood about that. All right, so the two parts are mixed. I'm going to put this on the threads here. I'm definitely not going to need this much, but that's all right. It's probably all I need right there. Spread that around. I mean, I could aluminum weld this, but it's just so hot. I don't want to take the chance of the heat, like warping it and making it look crazy. Okay, that's in there nice. All right, now I'm going to put this, this vise isn't big enough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe the crap off the side of this real quick as soon as I find a napkin. Here we go. Then I'll repaint this when I'm done, but I'm going to take this into my workshop real quick. I'll leave you guys here for 1 minute. I'm going to put this in the vise so that it's holding this down while it's drying, and I'm going to leave it there till tomorrow morning because I definitely have more than enough to keep me busy tonight. and then that's going to solidify. But at least you guys got to see it while it was open and what's going on in there. And then this is the muzzle brake, and then this fits to the 1/2-inch UNF perfectly, which I didn't have my lathe and all that. I didn't have the milling part for it and all that when I had Donnie FL's guy do this, so I could have done it. But he did a great job, and I'm happy I had him do it, if nothing else, just to get to know the guy, because he's really a nice guy. And I told him, you know, he's from nearby me. I told him, whenever you're back in the area to see your family, let me know. I'll come pick you up in the Challenger, and we'll go for a rail ride. Which, that's what I got to work on tonight, actually. That's what I'll be working on shortly. But I wanted to get this done, and I wanted to show it to you guys, because I'm actually going to make a video of what I'm doing on the Challenger also. I have one that I haven't put out yet for the clutch. I just did a double disc metallic clutch on it. And now I'm doing the G-Force rear axles, because I broke one of the axles, because it's already over 700 horsepower, so the car can't take it. So I'm gonna go put this in the vise. I'll bring you guys over by the gun, and then I'll come right back and show you this bipod. And I'm definitely gonna make a follow-up video where you guys can hear the silencer, and I'll even show you the decibel readings and the difference between this and, say, a Donnie FL or even the Impulse. I'll be right back. Oh, I gotta try to pour one more ingot. Shut this off. Okay. Let me get this thing in the vise. I know you guys can probably still hear me. I'm sure this is probably gonna work that far. There we go. All right. All right, it's viced in. All right, I'm gonna just throw my gloves on real quick, see if I can knock out one ingot and put in another. Yep. All right, that's out. Pour one more. Okay, it'd be nice if I had this stone somewhere accessible. And my pouring tongs. Oh man, there's one of my steel targets mixed into the lead. Holy shit. The tiny ones. I didn't even realize he was in there. Little duck. You little fuck. Alright, let's see if I can put this whole last chunk in this one and just try to pour 2 more ingots out of that. Okay, whoa. Overfilled it a little bit. But my god, that thing is boiling to the point where it's just probably gonna melt the whole damn thing right now. If I can get it back into the crucible, it'll definitely melt it. I mean, into the thing. I don't even need to fire it back up, it'll melt it. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh my God, it's already almost melted. But for it to stay melted, I gotta get it in there. Okay. I definitely don't need to fire it back up, that's for sure. This thing gets to like 2,500 degrees. So it tends to stay a little bit warm, especially for metal that melts at like 600. All right, coming back. All right, I'm very sorry about that. Okay, so here we are. Now, hopefully you guys can see me nice and clear. I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit and put it down a little bit. Okay. So now you guys may have seen I did a video recently where I shot some paintballs off of targets. I'm going to do another one of those videos because the battery died before the end of the video. But right now I'm just going to shoot at some targets and knock them over. And also I'm going to be doing a review very soon. This week I have coming in a Night Force Attacker F1 4-20 by 50. And then I also ordered a Zero Compromise 4-20 by 50 as well. And I like that because 4-20 is more than enough magnification for the range that these guns have. But I can also use that on some of my actual rifles. And the Zero Compromise is by far one of the 2 or 3 best scopes out there. And I happen to like their design. So that's why I went with that. The Attacker, a lot of people like Night Force. They sell to the military. I'm intrigued by that. So I went ahead and got one of those. I'm going to get rid of a couple of my less expensive scopes, probably the Arkin, which sadly I like to support the veteran-owned companies, but I just don't. I can't look through it anymore. I'm destroyed. If you guys aren't going to be able to buy like really high-end scopes, just don't even look through them, because like it makes it so much harder to look through a regular scope. It's kind of hard to believe if you haven't done it. I didn't believe it before, but it really does happen. It's honest to God the truth. So between that adjustment there and then this up here, that's it right there. I'm good. I'm on target, and I can actually just adjust it a little bit more with this, and I can go from target to target just by this stick. Oh shit! I forgot that I had 30 grains in here to prove that this would break the sound barrier easily with 30 grains. Because somebody earlier today had the nerve to tell me, after watching my Delta Wolf horror story, they thought it was a review. And it wasn't a review, it was just my horrible story with the Daystate Delta Wolf. But they had the nerve to tell me that 960 feet a second with a pellet is outstanding. So I get 1050 to 1070 feet per second with this gun in 22 caliber 52 grain slugs, and I can hit a paintball off of a target without hitting the target, or off of a balloon without popping the balloon, or whatever. And you know, I have a hard time believing anything is more accurate than that, but especially any kind of Daystate Delta, or Alpha, or any kind of Wolf. You know, and I was so kind as to mention you will never see those in a competition, and I never have. They're just not that caliber of gun. So anyways, I just don't like when people bother to take the time to make negative comments, because I never do that. I don't make any negative comments to any of you guys, and I usually don't respond to negative comments, and sometimes I do, but it's just to tell people like dude, just keep it to yourself if you have nothing good to say. I mean, I have things to say that maybe aren't positive, but they're honest, and it's because I'm telling you guys so you can not make the same mistake